Hey, what's up, man?
It works.
I knew there was something. I had the same problem last week, so.
No, it's all good. I had to actually use my phone as a hotspot because my network went down.
Well, that sucks. Well,
Yeah. So how's my audio?
it's pretty good. I can hear you just fine. How about mine? Is it okay?
Definitely good. I picked up a microphone today, and I figured I'd give it a try.
That's great. That's definitely great. So, well, thanks, man. I'm glad you got to join. I honestly, I saw your post and I thought it was a good thing to talk to somebody about. I definitely admire what you're doing, so I want to hear more about it.
Okay.
Basically, I don't know how much you've read about Breakout. I'm not going to go too much into who we are because it's our show, but I want to hear more from you. But basically, Breakout Paintball is something I started, and one of the things we want to do is help out fields and get them exposure. And so when I saw your post, I was like, perfect opportunity to give somebody that's working his butt off trying to get something started, a shout out. So if you can, I know. So are you in Portland? Is that exactly where you're at?
Yeah, I'm in Portland, Oregon. The field is going to be located, hopefully, in Dallas, Oregon.
Where's that at in relation to Portland?
About an hour away.
An hour? Okay.
Yeah, to the south.
Okay. And tell me, so I was doing some research on you and PT Paintball, and so were you affiliated with another field prior to your endeavor with getting this field started?
Correct.
Okay.
What I did is I co-located. I have a pro shop.
Okay.
So we decided it was best to co-locate at a field. It just makes sense.
Okay.
So we put together a pro shop, had rental guns, worked on guns. Basically, our motto was try before you buy. So I would take and grab, let's see, what do I have here? Hold on.
That's all right.
Let's see. So we're going to do a little shout out to Azodin for hooking us up with guns, and a shout out to Dangerous Power because they hook us up with guns. And basically, I hand them to people and say, here you go, give it a try. Dispel the rumors. I tried with other companies like Rap4 about a year ago, and now that they're doing the ambassador program, which is eerily similar to what I was wanting to do, now I'm probably going to become part of the ambassador program for Rap4. And that was us in a nutshell. It was just all about customer service. I probably fixed more guns for free than I should have. It's not exactly the best way to make money working on them for free, but you know what? Getting people in the game was more the piece. It was, hey, it's a 4-cent O-ring my cost. Woo! So, here you go. Here's some O-rings. Here's my brains to put it all together for you. Look, it shoots. Have fun.
Right.
So we co-located at the field. After a while, there was some discrepancies and some people making phone calls and trying to get us shut down.
For what reasons?
Because they didn't like competition.
Oh.
So the biggest argument, and one of the airsoft companies I dealt with at one point said, well, you don't have a brick and mortar store. There's a lot of places that don't have brick and mortar stores anymore. It's called the internet. So they were saying, well, we got a phone call that says you're selling out of your trunk. Some of the greatest industry leaders out there right now started by selling out of their trunk.
Right.
So, no, I didn't sell out of my trunk. I put up a 6-foot fold-up table next to my car. So, not technically selling. Yes, exactly. So, I brought in guns, I sold guns, I had used stuff, new stuff, small parts, swabs, mask lenses. My mom even got into it, and she was making padded headbands.
Nice.
So, we kind of got into this. And then my wife, I was injured at the time. I had been in a really bad car wreck, and I wasn't able to work Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So this was kind of keeping us afloat on the weekends. And it was good. I could sit in a chair all day and watch people have fun. Yeah, that was really awesome. Yeah. So I was living vicariously through my players. And now that I'm all healed up, now I work, 5-6 days a week. And now I want to try to do a paintball field. So I'm really crazy. Kind of like they say, we're the only people in the world, entrepreneurs, that'll give up working 40 hours a week to work 120.
Yep.
So my goal is to get this started, get it going, and then blow everybody else out of the water. Bring tournament paintball back to Oregon. We've had the WCPS. There's, to my knowledge, never really been an NPPL or PSP or any of those type of events in Oregon. Mm-hmm. So now that we have the NXL, at one point, the field that I was co-located at, we tried to do the NSL. Have you heard of them?
No.
National Speedball League.
Interesting.
Look him up. Lawrence Kagawa. Don't yell at me, Lawrence. I probably butchered it.
I'll figure it out.
But good, really good guy. I ran an event up here. It was a demo event. He brought a team from, where were they? Tri-Cities and Nevada.
Okay.
And we ran the event, had fun doing it. I actually videotaped the event. All their events are live streamed.
That's really cool.
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
That's one thing that we want to get into too. It's hard, but it's cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, here was the problem. All of his live stream events, they take a webcam and set it in one spot. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, the epitome of boring. So I took a GoPro, strapped the live stream unit to it, and I got out on the field like you would see any other major sporting event. I was laying in front of guys getting shot in the butt and other areas that I should have had padded. It was really phenomenal. And we actually saw some people commenting on the live stream video, "Oh my God, this is the best video you've done yet." Because I was out there getting tatered and just getting in the action and trying to keep it real and show, movement along the field and stuff. The locals, there wasn't many people that showed up for it because unfortunately it was really close to another event. I think it was WCPS. And people just kind of like, I don't want to play that format. Okay, fine. You don't want to play that format, but I'll bet you there's a bunch of kids that do. Mm-hmm. So regardless of that fact, I really want to start that back up because I think that's a very inexpensive way to hold a tournament series. It's fast paced. It's really fun. I enjoyed it. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So especially when you're live and you can look left and right versus a camera that's stationary.
Exactly.
But so where do you want to go from here now that I've kind of rambled on and I've completely lost my train of thought?
We actually started off great. I'm glad I got, that kind of broke the ice. So you mentioned what you were doing with selling the gear and things like that. I really, really, really like the fact that you brought up that you were literally letting players use the gear and replacing O-rings and fixing guns for free because you'd rather see people play. And that's one thing that Breakout, that's one of our missions is I want to be able to expose the sport to new players as well as the general public. And you cover two avenues of that, the live streaming and the doing things for free. And last week I was talking to two photographers that kind of alluded on the fact that unfortunately paintball, because it is not a necessity in a lot of people's lives and it's more of a hobby, there's a lot of monopolies involved, including people don't like to do things for free. And that's any business, honestly. But the few of us that like to do things for free, I think is what's going to help grow the sport. And I think you were doing a great job on doing that. Now, you mentioned how paintball is kind of dead in Oregon, or tournament paintball, but isn't Uprising from Oregon, the pro team?
Yes. Well, is because we had oh gosh, what was
They had the
a name
Naughty
before.
Dogs.
Well, yeah, that was years ago.
But
That
then
was
you
at
had
PPL days.
who did you have before that? It slipped my mind.
Well,
but
if I remember right, Portland Uprising is basically Seattle Thunder.
okay.
So there are some of the guys locally.
Mhm.
That's the only thing though, is they practice at one field, and that's down at Harrisburg, Oregon. So, up here in Portland area, we have one place that has a good tournament ready field.
Yeah.
And they have one field. So my goal with this 85 acres I'm looking at is we'll have the capability of being able to have 10 fields.
Nice.
We can throw together, mow, contact somebody that does landscaping and say, hey, I need grass. I want playable area. And I'm turning my volume down a little bit because it's blowing my mind right now. So that's kind of the dilemma we have in Oregon. Is there's one place that's in Portland that's good. There's one place that's like a 2-hour drive that's good. So,
and that's like, is that specific to speedball, or because quite honestly, I love Oregon. I've been to Oregon a few times. To me, scenario paintball would be amazing in Oregon.
And that it is.
Okay.
That's the rec ball and scenario play are huge in Oregon. Okay. You've heard of Super Game.
Yeah.
Not to advertise for somebody else, but it's 1,500 players from all over. And this year, I guess Wolf is coming.
Nice.
So, that he's going to be here. Greg Hastings was here last year. He'll probably be here again. I'd really like to see Reaper show up, Justin. So if you're watching this, Reaper, this is a call out. Get out here. Or any executive from Tippmann that sees this. Okay, Dye has their guy here. Why does Tippmann not? I would love to see more people show up for that. If Star Power shows up, all of a sudden it's like super popular. So why not get these guys to come out?
Right.
I know they charge for it. Mm-hmm. I've learned that personally. The bigger the name, that's cool. But you know what? To a new guy, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Don't you know who that is?
Yeah.
No, I have no clue.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't really matter. Scenario play, Team Tap has been doing a lot trying to get MagFed going. They've been hosting MagFed games at Splat Action. Lately, they've been hosting them down at the Swamp, which is down in Lebanon. Okay. Shrek's a good guy. He runs a great field. He's been adding to it every year. That's what we need more of in Oregon, is more people like Shrek. Mm-hmm. The other fields that are around, they've been kind of stagnant. Splat Action has done some stuff, but they're really constrained by the property owner. So they can only do so much. Other fields, big whopping 0, nothing done. What I see as one of the downsides of paintball is the limited exposure to fields I have. I've never been to Californian fields. I've been to Washington's fields, but I've never been to the big names, SC Village, Paintball Explosion, any of those. So I don't know how exactly they treat it, but I'm thinking they treat it more like a business. Mm-hmm. You walk in, hello, sir, how are you doing? Not, hey, you here to play some paintball? Mm-hmm. Here's your sign. Uh, so, treat it more as a business and, build in things for retention.
Right.
Build in, we're going to update fields.
Right.
So every year when they see on Facebook or Groupon or wherever you choose to advertise, we've added this field this year, or we've blown up this field. We, show tannerite exploding on the field, and we are now starting over, and this is going to be our new field. Uh, any other industry, they put that out there and they're constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Paintball seems to be the only thing that doesn't evolve on the field end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dye can come out with a fancy new gun that finally has an LCD screen, and it costs $1,500, and X manufacturer, Planet Eclipse, comes up with a new one that costs $1,500, and who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Tournament scene now is professional is 10-5.
Right.
I don't care if your gun can shoot 30 balls a second. The rules say 10-5. Right. So we keep trying to outdo ourselves with speed or cost or whatever.
Right.
Why are we not supporting the place that grows the player base so then you can sell more guns?
Amen.
So, yeah, it's cool. Paintball Explosion has their Tipman Castle, and SC Village has whatever they have. I'm sure they have a Tipman Castle too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's two places. How many paintball fields are there in America?
Right.
Lots.
Right.
One of the untapped things is airsoft.
Yes.
Airsoft in Oregon, we have one field. I don't even know if it's insured or anything like that. But it's really popular. They have a couple hundred players when they have a weekend out there. And then there's an indoor that I know is insured and everything else. And he runs the kids through all night.
That's really cool. I've never heard. And that's all airsoft?
Yeah.
I've never heard of an indoor airsoft.
It's pretty cool. I mean, for the size of the building he has done a hell of a job. So, but that's the thing, is airsoft is still backyards ball.
Right.
Kind of like back in when I first started in the late 80s, early 90s with a PGP. Mm-hmm. We were in our backyards playing in gullies, shooting at each other with crap we bought from G.I. Joes. Right. So, but that's the thing, is these kids need to get out of that, because these kids all paint their guns. Mm-hmm. And I will use guns in airsoft, but I'll call it a marker in paintball. Mm-hmm. They take the orange tip off, they put suppressors on, they get the load out, they look all tactical, and then they get shot by a cop. Let's get them into a safe environment and somewhere where it's regulated. So Johnny doesn't go get a new AEG and slap the hardest spring he can find into it, and now it's shooting 600-700 feet per second, and he shoots little Tommy at 20 feet. So, let's get the rules set. There's pretty much a set of rules established in Oregon with the airsoft. They all follow it. Let's just get some organized fields and get some organized games going, bring it into the fold, get rid of Oregon has a bad stigma between the two. Airsoft players hate paintballers because they think we're a bunch of speedballers that wear like pinks and yellows and blues and whatever. And then paintballers here say, the friggin' LARPers. So, hey, you sucked at Call of Duty, so let's play airsoft. So, let's get the stigmas out. Everybody has their way to play. I enjoyed airsoft. It was cool because the physics involved in it and the tuning of the guns. Right. And, shooting little white BBs at people that don't hurt and they cry and say it hurts. Have you ever been zippered at 15 balls a second getting bunkered? This is nothing. So, to each their own. And we want to do one other thing in our field. Look it up. It's called e-combat. laser tag,
Oh
outdoor,
yeah. Yeah.
waterproof, up to 600 feet. You know, they talk about low impact paintball.
Hmm.
How about no impact outdoor laser tag that the guns look like the real thing? Or you can get something from like Aliens that look like the guns that the Marines were carrying from them. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
cool
It's,
stuff.
I've noticed the e-combat stuff I know is getting more popular amongst paintball fields. I've actually heard rumors. I don't know if you're aware, but I was just at a field out here and I overheard somebody say that they're going to start doing Nerf. Like I heard Nerf is becoming a thing. but
I actually am
e-combat
going
stuff.
to have 5 or 6 bunkers set up in an area for the little kids. So little brother or sister can bring their Nerf stuff. And in the summertime, I want to have water balloon fights.
That's really cool. That's
So,
cool.
take the speedball field over, have like 50, 60 kids
Yeah.
chucking water balloons at each other. That'd be epic. I
Yeah.
think that would make for a great video.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That's where our field is going to be more family atmosphere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody in the family can have fun. Mom can sit there in a lawn chair, bust out the Wi-Fi, do whatever she wants. Or if she's brave enough, here you go. Here's a marker.
That's really cool. Now, are you going to adopt that? You mentioned before when you were working at the previous field you were at. What was that called? Like Splat Action? Is that where you were before?
Yeah.
Are you going to adopt that mentality of, hey, try this gun out to play? Or yep. Okay.
What's going to end up happening is we're starting this on a shoestring because I wanted to get the money and I have stellar credit. I make a good amount of money a year being an electrician. Mm-hmm. They laughed. So because my loan doesn't fit government standards, you don't get a loan. Sorry. Have a nice day. Yeah, Dodd-Frank after the 2008 meltdown had a lot more consequences than they led us on to believe. So that came from a branch manager that I went to high school with. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know that happened behind the scenes, and it screwed a lot of stuff up.
So was it more than you just making too much money? Was there more to that? You not getting a loan, or was that the main?
It was basically saying, yeah, you make this much money. Yeah, your credit's stellar. Sorry, you don't have the assets that we can seize if you don't pay. So, I'm like, well, sign over all the containers and the paintballs and the rental guns and everything that I purchased with this. Nope. Sorry. Okay. So that's where we are now doing things kind of stupidly. Mm-hmm. We are getting credit cards. And I am actually to the point now, I'm making signs, and me and a couple people, we are going to stand on the side of the street at busy intersections and hopefully end up on YouTube or Google or on the local news or whatever, basically handing out free entry coupons for any donation over $20. So we've got a GoFundMe page going. That has got about as much love as I expected.
I'm looking at it right now. We're going to try to get you some more love. It's it's GoFundMe.com/PTSD Paintball. And we'll get to why you named it that in a minute. But again, it's GoFundMe.com PTSD Paintball. Looks like you got around $170 right now. You need roughly $50K. Let's get into more in depth about your field and what you're going to do with it. Maybe we'll spark some people's interest. So one thing that I promoted you for was you were going to be catering a lot to servicemen and women, first responders, but you mentioned families as well. So what lit your fire in getting this all started? What was that main fire that got lit?
Basically, I've been working on this idea for 4 years, mulling it over, abandoning it for a little bit, coming back to it. It's something that keeps hitting me. And it really, with the military and law enforcement and first responders, the first responders, it kind of hit me, to take a quote from the internet, it hit me in the feels. With seeing one of the memes out there that says you want $15 an hour to flip a burger, and showing the back of a bloodied up ambulance that the dude is making like 15, 16, 18 bucks an hour. You know, right there. They work 12, 14 hours. Dude, come on out, blow some steam off. You know what? Don't even pay me for rental gun, none of that. Just buy some paintballs, go have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I lose in the rental, I make a little bit in the paint sale, and
Mm-hmm.
it's more about letting them go out and blow some steam off.
Mm-hmm.
Cops, you know, cops get a crappy rap. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there are crappy ones, just like paintballers. There's crappy paintballers. There's crappy guys that work at Burger King. You know,
Right.
it's
There's
where
crappy
we go.
people
There's
in
always,
general.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, let them. You know, a guy that I actually worked with years and years and years and years ago when I first started working. We worked together at GI Joe's, and he became a cop. And I found out a couple years ago that, like 5 years prior to that, he ended up having to shoot a dog that was attacking him, and that roughed him up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just giving them a place to where, if they want to play paintball, they can play paintball. If they're into airsoft, come play airsoft. If you want to throw water balloons at your kids in the summertime, come on out. You know, one thing that we're going to provide too is camping.
Really cool.
So, dude, pitch a tent.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to play, dude, grab a spot, pitch a tent, just come hang out. I'll be here for a while. Come on and come over BS with me.
Yeah.
You know, let's drink a soda pop together and just talk.
Yeah.
You know, and then the military guys, for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I was doing research on the net because I had met a gentleman that has PTSD, and a friend of mine that I went to high school with has PTSD and almost lost his leg to a flesh-eating bacteria while he was in Afghanistan. His is bad enough. I took him to an indoor paintball field here, and he about lost it 5 minutes into just standing in the lobby where you could still hear the paintballs going. So we went outside, had a smoke, talked, and he came back in. He was feeling it. He was starting to get used to it. He wasn't going to play. And I said, dude, not a problem.
Right.
Just come, get used to it. We'll get you playing eventually. Or maybe we won't. I just want to do whatever I can to try to ease the tensions for you just a little bit.
Right.
And then another gentleman that I play with currently, it's really helpful to him. They can tell when he hasn't played. So, you know, but then there's been days where, you know, come over here, sit down, chill out, relax. Come on. If you got to go home, go home. I got your entry.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And I want the people that are going to work for me, I want them to know what to look for. So I'm going to have my friends that have these issues come talk to them.
That's really
Say, this is what my triggers are. This is how I start acting when things are going bad. And, you know, this doesn't work for everybody. This is what works for me to help calm me down. You know, if someone's starting to lose it and one of my refs sees it and tries to intervene and say, hey, let's come over here and talk.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't work, get on the horn. I'll come down.
Right.
You know, I'll talk to them. If that doesn't help and they start to lose it, all right, let's call. I've already talked to some. I'm working on it. I've got some places that I've been told about to have in my phone book ready to go. Ring, here, you talk,
mm-hmm.
and they can help.
Mm-hmm.
So there was research done about soldiers coming back from war and using paintball and airsoft as an analog for war, trying to show them at the end of the day, people don't have to die. You get hit, you call yourself out, your buddy's not dead. I want to work on that. I want to improve on that. I want to talk to, medical doctors that deal with this. And let's make this a scientific project. Let's work things together and try it out. And if it doesn't work, use the scientific method. Go back, figure out what didn't work, change it, replay.
Right.
And let's get some actual documented papers on what can and what can't help. And I'm going to give it away for free. I'm going to hand that to any field that wants to try and anywhere that wants to be more effective at helping people.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal.
Yeah, I think you would really, and I know this isn't even on your radar, but I think that whole sector of military, police, any type of first responders, I feel like that crowd in paintball is so big. But to your point, I think a lot of them have PTSD where they really haven't even tried it before because they don't understand that it's actually safe.
Yep.
I think I was never in the military or anything, but I have had friends that were in the military that had PTSD. And I can tell you, I almost feel like there's like this, although they might have come out of war, playing paintball might give them that closure that they need. Despite, and like you said, and structure. Despite some of the hurdles they might have to get over, like with when you shoot somebody, they're really not dying, things like that.
The sounds.
Yeah.
One of the things, like at Super Game, we have tanks. So that freaks anybody out. But, the other thing that I want to do too is in Airsoft, they have their Thunder B grenades, the flashbang simulators.
Yeah.
I want to use those. Those are going to be available for use at the field.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I want to do on like MagFed days or scenario days, rubber training knives.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get the Call of Duty kids in there. Oh, I can do knife kills. Just as long as you stay away from the neck.
Yeah.
If you poke somebody in the back and say knife kill, okay, that's fine. Don't grab them by the neck and do the whole silent thing. No, that ain't gonna fly. You do that, I'm gonna boot you.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is with what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the best of everybody. One of the field operators or promoter, I should put it, Viper.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard of Viper Games.
Yeah.
He runs a tight ship. You don't screw around with safety with Viper's games. You can't get away with a mask that you've modified. You do something stupid, your player card's getting punched. Do it again, bye.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing. We're going to, you take your mask off once, go sit down for 30 minutes. You take it off twice, I can't protect you from yourself. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Right.
I don't want you to lose an eyeball. I'm doing it for your own good because you, for some reason, think that your eyes are impervious to a 300 foot per second paintball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
So, bad sportsmanship. Somebody yelling at a kid. Somebody zippers a kid. Dude, you need to go sit.
Yeah.
You need to go calm down and recognize that this is a game. Right. This is rec ball.
Right.
Calm down. It's just that simple. So chill out, go sit down, get something to eat, calm yourself, and when you're ready to have fun, come have fun.
So, yeah, and I feel you on all those points. I feel like there's too many fields where players just get to kind of do whatever they want to do. And next thing you know, you have 10-year-old kids who are new to the sport, who we need in the sport to help stimulate it, don't want to play anymore because they got shot to crap. And You just ruined their experience for them. But speaking of players, I just wanted to touch on this with you really quick. You mentioned there's other fields in Oregon. How are you going to do your outreach to get customers? Or you mentioned like you were standing on streets that you're going to go stand on streets to get money for the field. But are you already getting a huge following? Do you have people interested in this already? How are you going to get your customers? And then the second question you can answer is, you mentioned retention. Are you going to take an approach like SC or Hollywood or even Paintball Explosion? I know TJ and the guys out in the West Coast, but like TJ for Paintball Explosion, they're very big on their customer service. I've walked through TJ's field. I've walked through it with him, and I've seen from his reps to the girl at the registration counter, it's almost like you're in like a I don't know, like a 5-star restaurant. They're greeting you. They're top-notch customer service. So 2 questions. 1, how are you going to get your customers? And 2, how are you going to retain them? What's your customer retention strategy?
For retaining customers, we're going to be probably the only field in Oregon, short of a speedball field, that actually is going to clean their fields. So, no offense to anybody that doesn't, but at the end of the day, I really love coming up to a scummy bunker that's like the blob monster. That's really awesome. And I'm a paintballer. I've done it for 20 years.
Right.
That doesn't very much bother me.
No.
But at the same token, when a 12-year-old kid or 15-year-old kid goes to hop back in mom's car covered in slime, she's going to say, "What kind of outfit are you running here?"
Yes.
And mud is a whole nother thing. I mean, we're all Oregonians except for the transplants from California. Whoa, I just threw a jab in there. I'm sorry. We have web feet. We're used to our 200 inches of rain here, or whatever we get that's ridiculous amount. Mud is par for the course.
Yeah.
If it's not August, it's mud. So we get over it. That's where one of the things that I started to do was I had black trash bags at my pro shop. And when the moms would come up and they had this look of disgust as they were going to hop into their BMW SUV, I said, here's a trash bag. Because they don't think about that.
Right.
When people call me, they say, well, we're going to come out and play. Okay, one thing. Bring a change of clothes and bring a change of shoes. As well, throw in a black trash bag. If you don't have one, I'll provide you one. You'll love me later because of the fact your car is not going to get scummy.
Right.
We're also going to provide kind of a first. We're going to have changing booths.
Interesting.
So people can change their clothes and not half hang out of the car type of thing.
Yeah.
One of the things,
or go to the outhouse or something, right?
Oh God, there's nothing worse than changing in the Porta-John. Dude, you just hit on a sore spot because I'm a construction electrician.
Yeah.
So I use Porta-Johns every day. I'm used to it. Suburbanite mother is not. Suburbanite daughter is not. So I want to provide I don't even know what service-based business. Imagine going to around here. There's a place called G6 Air Park. Okay. It's a trampoline park. You go in there, or even better. I just thought of it. Gold's Gym, Planet Fitness, any of those. You walk in, it's clean. You go to the restrooms, it's clean. The equipment, it's clean. It's warm. Sorry, it's Oregon. It's outdoor. It's going to be cold. And it probably will be raining. So, but yeah, just that ambiance of you walk in the door. How you doing, sir? That's what we're going to go for. It's going to be a true service-based business. For the paintball player, by the paintball player, to bring in new paintball players.
Well said. Yeah, that's awesome.
We're also doing one extra thing that is going to be tough, but it's something I see that needs to happen. We are going to be the first ADA-friendly field in Oregon. There is going to be fill stations that are ADA accessible. There's going to be counter space that's ADA accessible, ADA parking, paved spots so they can get in and out of their van, back load, side load, either way. My neighbor happens to be in a wheelchair, so that kind of hit me right there too, that he would really love to give it a try.
Yeah.
But he can't because there's no paintball fields. That it's Oregon, it's wet, it's muddy.
Right. Right.
So one of our goals, our 5-year goals, is we are going to have a couple tank chairs.
Nice. Yeah, I know there's a couple fields that do that now, and I think it's the coolest thing. Like CPX up in Joliet, Illinois, they do the tank chairs. Super cool. Super cool thing.
After talking with the guys, oh gosh, what's the veteran team that does the chairs? Team Defiant?
Yes. Yeah.
I talked to those guys, and they actually turned me on to a manufacturer that is really cool, and they're, I shouldn't say inexpensive, but compared to the model that I was looking at for like $25,000 a piece,
right,
it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? What's the cost? There is no cost. A kid that's got MS, I want him to be able to come play paintball. I'm going to put ballistic shielding on it, basically Lexan, that when they sit in it, it's going to close over the top of their legs. You know, if we've got to, we'll pad them up from chest down, whatever they need for padding, we're going to provide so they can actually go play. Or if it's just a dude that's got, you know, a lumbar break and he's a pair. Okay, your upper body's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And just give it a try. I'm going to have TPXs. So if they can't hold the weight of a marker like my neighbor, he can hold a Phantom, but he can't hold like, I had a T15 for a while. He couldn't hold the T15. He thought it was sweet, but he couldn't hold the T15.
Right.
You know, whether I've got to take 2 A5s and put, you know, semi-auto triggers on them and put them on some sort of a pivot mount, whatever it takes. And to be perfectly honest, it's going to be free to use.
Good for you.
Because, dude, if I was in a chair, I would. They don't get enough love as it sits.
Right.
You know, you're stuck in a chair. The human body was never meant to be in a seated position for multiple years.
No.
You know, you've got nerve damage. You've got problems that are going to develop over time. Enjoy what you have. And nobody thinks about, you know, yeah, it's a small percentage of the population, but how can I help?
Right.
What's the real cost?
Right.
There is no real cost.
Right.
In anything, it's a boon to me. Even if I spend $40,000 in chairs, you know what? I'm going to make that back in the PR. You know, I'm the only paintball field you can come at, hop in a chair, and go play.
Right.
Dude, that's what it's about, is getting everybody a chance to come shoot a paintball, shoot an airsoft gun, e-combat, whatever you want to do. And yeah, I thought about doing the Nerf thing too. You know, I look at it this way. It's just some place for a kid to go play. If their older brother plays paintball, why not bring little bro too? So he can be around it and join in.
You are so right. And I just think back, I'm in my mid-30s and my brother's 30. And I can tell you that he and I grew up playing Nerf together and we loved it. The fact that there's now going to be places that you can go play Nerf, that's just amazing.
Well,
awesome.
What was that? In the early 2000s, they had like Nerf speedball competition things. Dude, that was epic. So, and in reality, Nerf is all mag-fed now. Dude, that's awesome.
It is.
So it's no longer the round yellow balls we shot 20 years ago that like went 15 feet. Now they go like 65 freaking feet.
Right.
So, what the hey? Let's have some fun. And, you get bored, there's a lull. All right, the referees are going to go shoot each other with Nerf or.
Well, and what's funny, and God forbid somebody from Nerf is watching this, but Nerf, if you're listening, get into the paintball field game. Like, I'm telling you, like, the fact that you can take Nerf and bring it into, like, just even like a pallet field would be awesome. Like, it's a good concept.
I was actually have you heard of Vortex Bunkers?
Yes. Yeah.
They're semi-local to me. They're up in Washington.
Okay.
And I'm going to get like a small set. I want to get a full set and then get like 6, 8, 10 more. And that would be the Nerf setup. Was the Vortex Bunkers. So slap them down, air them up. They've got the remote control system now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Set that thing up and have it sitting there. The kids aren't there to play. And then like 10 kids show up. I want to play Nerf. There you go. Go play. And, charge them $5 for all day to go shoot Nerf guns at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I was a parent, I'd be like, dude, cool. And then maybe have like a small wooded area that they can go play there too. And, like plant some Christmas trees. That's one of the things we're going to do at the field. We're going to have a Christmas tree patch, so in like 5 years we can sell Christmas trees.
Right.
And then have Christmas trees to play in. And then you can set that off to the side and kids hunting each other with bright yellow and green Nerf guns through the Christmas tree. I mean, just the thought of it, it totally is giggle worth.
Yeah.
But to a kid, dude, that could be like the most epic time of his summer.
Yeah.
Is going hunting his buddies with Nerf guns, not in his parents' backyard.
Yep. Yeah.
That would have made my day as a kid.
I know. We had to like play in my attic.
We
didn't have anything.
And we used to play guns in our backyard, except for there was no guns. And you would basically be playing a big game of hide and seek. And sometimes it would go between like 3 neighbors' house. So we would be running all over the neighborhood trying to find where they hid. Nowadays, that could probably get construed badly. 30 years ago, that was completely kosher. Now you might get shot. Yeah. That's just the truth. And that's where I want to move things for kids to an acred area. Maybe during the summer, my wife and I both hunt. Mm-hmm. And, maybe we do some, tracking classes. Maybe we do some stuff that, outdoor survival. Hey, this is what you should have on you if you go for a hike. I went through Boy Scouts. Mm-hmm. Anymore, the Boy Scouts are a joke. No offense, Boy Scouts.
Right.
But they don't get to do the cool stuff they used to do.
They don't.
So, in fact, the Boy Scouts here in Oregon won't let them come play paintball because, oh my God, it's shooting guns at each other. Oh, just really? Number 1, they're markers. Number 2, it's paintball. I'm not taking them out with AR-15s with sim rounds and come on. Where's the common sense gone?
It's irony to me because I personally collect. I was a Boy Scout as well, and I personally collect the old Scout books. And you flip through some of those old badge books, and there's how to shoot an arrow, how to shoot a shotgun, all that stuff.
Well,
and now they can't even
carry back in Boy Scout days, right here.
Yep.
Now they get thrown out of school for this.
Yes.
So I want to change things up a bit, and it's not going to be all about paintball, or all be about airsoft, or Nerf, or water balloons, or tournament ball, or rec ball, or monster scenario games. Even though we all want to have those, and this is going to be a 5-year buildup. In reality, for us, the first year is paying off all debts. There's not after year 1. My goal is to be completely owe nothing to nobody for this field.
Mm-hmm.
Year 2 is the building year.
Mm-hmm.
Build more, build more, build more. And then year 3, continue building. What didn't work, we blow up with tannerite, because that's one of our favorite things around here in Oregon is blowing stuff up and using tannerite. Yeah. So that one, Mark Hartley, if you're watching this, that was for you, buddy. So 3rd year, grow some more. 4th year, have everything set up the way we want to. Have 2 or 3 compressor setups with speedball in mind. Have stuff ready to go that if we wanted to, we could throw up poles and have 7 speedball fields going. Or nope, that's just going to be open area. That's going to be parking for this, weekend warrior speedballers and practice and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But have the stuff in place, ready to go, that if the, PSP, NPPL, NXL, or whatever incarnation it's going to be in 3 years, calls up and says, we want to do an event in Oregon. We heard about your field. All right. What size the field got to be and what bunkers do I need?
Right.
Let's make it done.
Let's make that transition, since you're talking about it, to your land. So I did a little bit of research on your Facebook page and looked at your GoFundMe that kind of went into detail with this. Now I know you've hit some issues with the loan. Was I reading it correctly? Have you hit some issues with the land as well?
Yep. Oregon has this wonderful thing called high value dirt. I kid you not. It's the real name of it is HVS, high value soils.
And it's a real thing. Like it's
Yes, it is a totally real thing. We are the greeny weeny state that we have. What was the last number? We could harvest like 8 billion or 80 billion or whatever the number is, board feet of timber, and never run out.
Wow.
We actually, per square foot of dirt in Oregon, we use 4%. Wow. That is occupied by human beings. 4%. Now, we have high value soil. Part of some hippie thing that they came up with to preserve farmland. Now, it's a soil composition, whether it's sandy loam or they've got all these fancy names, and the list is like, one sheet of PDF long. Basically, the only thing that sits right now that you can do on it, you could put in an ODOT gravel quarry for putting out gravel when it snows, because Lord knows we're too stupid to use salt. We don't use salt here in Oregon, by the way.
I know. So, my wife and I almost moved to Portland, and we were baffled when the woman told us, like, hey, when it ices here, we like shut down because we don't know how to deal with it. We're like, what?
Ice? Dude, that's like a 1/4 inch of snow. It farts snow, and oh my God, shut the world down. So that's one of the favorite things is if you can get to the field, dude, we're going to be there if it snows. If it's safe to drive, we will report on the weather condition and say the road is clear to get here. Come play in the snow. Yeah. Because it's epic to play paintball in the snow.
It is.
Canadians I know are laughing like, shut up, you don't know what snow is. So, and I agree, we don't know what snow is except for up in the mountains where we get like 200 inches.
Right.
But in the valleys, we're SOL.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I lost my train of thought.
It happens. It happens. The land use thing.
Oh, yeah, it's the land use. So it's the land is classified as high valued soil. And you can only do certain things on high value soil. Farming being one of them. And one of the other things that you can do on it is getting paid by the state and federal government not to farm it. I kid you not. It's this whole, what did they call it? It's farmland conservation. So, but like I said, I could put in a gravel pit if I was the Oregon Department of Transportation. Or I could improve a road with my property. I could take and put in an RC airport for radio-controlled airplanes. I can put in a winery. I can put in a tasting room with that winery, so people can not only pick wine, but they can also get drunk on wine and then buy trinkets. So, or this one blows my mind completely. I can mine it.
What?
I can sit there and gravel mine, gold mine, all this other. I can mine it for minerals, effectively destroying the property for future farming.
That high value soil is gone.
But that's okay. So they have some really messed up rules. We're in the process of trying to fight those rules. We're trying to either get something added that exempts paintball, airsoft, something. It's ridiculous.
Is it a matter of, because I know I've talked to other field owners, and I've almost started a field here in Missouri myself, and I can tell you that what I've heard with certain things with paintball fields is a lot of the times it's just the fact of educating the government officials that you're trying to open the field with, because they just don't know. So they hear paintball and guns and they're like, nope, shut down. So is this something that's almost a matter of you kind of putting together your resources and just getting a petition and getting some education for them?
Pretty much. And then the other thing that's funny is one of the uses for high value farmland is shooting ranges. Let's put a little lead and copper in your soil. But yeah, as long as there's police training involved, or NRA or whatever, maybe I should talk to the NRA and say, dude, let's do this with paintball. They might be down.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is education.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first things that I had to educate myself on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to open an indoor field at a old horse barn.
Mm-hmm.
And that turned into a nightmare because that was in the city of Portland. And anybody that's watching that lives in Portland or the surrounding areas, Multnomah County, Clackamas County, Washington County, they're nuts. To put in a paintball field in an old horse barn on the same property as a shotgun range, which would have been perfect because I would have brought in young people to the shotgun range. Mm-hmm. The old guys that were there would bring their kids to come play paintball. They wanted to do an ecological study. They wanted to do a traffic study. They said that I had to spend $5,000 in a conditional use permit, and I would have to, or they would mail everybody within a 2-mile radius to have a committee meeting and see if the neighborhood liked the idea of having a paintball field there. That was my face exactly. Yeah, I went, dude, whose head is up what rear, and do you need a flashlight? That's why my field is not in Multnomah County, Clackamas County, or up here in Portland. I'm sorry, Portland, you're too weird. It didn't make sense. So Polk County down there in Dallas is a more rural community, mm-hmm. and they still got their heads screwed on straight and facing forward.
Now, is this really quick? I didn't mean to cut you off. Is this photo on the GoFundMe page? Is that the real satellite image of the soon-to-be field?
That is taken from wonderful Google aerial mapping. So, it's kind of close.
Okay.
But yeah, that is the property definition, how it looks. And that property is actually split across the road and then even across the main highway. So, but the ones that are across the main road, Salt Creek Road and the main highway, those ones are tilled, obviously, by the satellite image. You can see that they've been tilled.
Yeah.
And he leases that. That's been leased to a farmer for years.
Okay.
So one thing that I might try to do is say, hey, you want to give the soil a break a year? I'll pay it in one of those large plots that's right across the road. Mm-hmm. Primo for doing speedball. Yeah, bring a disc out, till it again, lay it flat, mm-hmm. put down turf, bam.
Now, is there it looks like you got some greenery on here, so I'm assuming there's some woods as well for some good old scenario, or?
Yeah, if you look, so top of the picture is north, bottom of the picture would be south. Mm-hmm. back up in that corner of the property
Mm-hmm.
is woods.
Okay.
The rest of it really isn't much woods. It's more scrub brush. Like we have lots of what is that called? They wanted to make ethanol out of it for biofuel. Oh God, Scotch broom.
Weird. Yeah.
So we're all about the alternatives, man. So yeah, the Scotch broom is like an invasive weed that is just a gnarly bugger that has been here forever, and it's a pain. But it would make really cool ground cover. And if you're 10 years old trying to sneak through an open field, you disappear into it. So it works perfect.
Besides
little
looking
kid
at
cover.
You might see the orange Nerf, but hey, whatever.
Oh gosh.
That's
but
cool.
You can crawl through that stuff. You can make tunnels in it. Just watch out for the occasional raccoon or something that might say, "Hey, what are you doing in my tunnel?" But we're gonna put vehicles out on there for cover. I've got a deal cooking with a couple local tire outlets that do tractor tires and like large tires.
Nice.
And like think just shy of Bigfoot type tires.
Like earth mover type of tires. Yeah. Okay.
Get those out there. Maybe we'll do a hyperball field out of like tractor tires and car tires and go back to the old school. But we've got all these different things that don't cost us a dime except for to go get them.
Right.
And we've got ideas to start it with that.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll move some of it out and then bring in buildings. I've got some killer ideas for modular buildings. Not going to put them out there because they're mine. But it'll be cool because it'll almost go together like Legos.
Yeah. That's neat.
So being able to put together a CQB indoor-ish type thing where we could reconfigure it to look like the hallway of an apartment complex.
Right.
Into different rooms.
Right. So, you can see me okay, right? I just clicked on something.
What'd you do?
I don't know. There we go. So tell me a little bit more about the land. So is the owner aware that you want to buy? Is it for sale or is he leasing? Like, what's the whole story with you actually getting on that property or trying?
So we're gonna lease it.
Okay. He
is like, what he said to me, I buy lots of property. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you want to buy it. So that is obviously a down the road possibility, which we are definitely going to explore because there is no reason to lease a piece of property for an extended amount of time. Right. Yeah, there's tax advantages, but why not buy it?
Well, and then and I'll commend. Yeah. And I'll commend TJ Andreas from Paintball Explosion when he and I were talking about starting a field. TJ told me the last thing you want to be doing is leasing a field because you never know when that owner can back out or wants to back out of the lease. So yes, buying a field makes a lot more sense rather than leasing the land.
And what's really cool is the guy that I found, he actually found me from a Facebook, or not a Facebook post, a Craigslist post. And we got to talking, and it was like match made in heaven. He works with youth groups, and he actually mentioned it to like a couple kids that there's a guy that wants to put a paintball field on one of his properties. Mm-hmm. And the next weekend there was like 30 kids asking him where it was. So, the market is there. And I think that opened his eyes because he didn't have any idea that by telling 2 kids, 30 come back.
Right.
And that's the truth about paintball. Mm-hmm. Once one kid knows, a whole school knows.
Right.
So I've got colleges that are nearby. I'm looking at you, Oregon State University. Monmouth, there's a college there. I think there's a couple smaller, like there's a Christian college over there. And then U of O is hour and a half down the road. I always wanted to put together, like, I came up with this idea 4 or 5 years ago after watching a what was it, NCPA or whatever, the college paintball.
Yeah.
Oregon State, Ducks versus Beavers paintball. Take the frat houses. Okay, we're going to do a round robin style, bracket tournament. Whichever house from whatever school, you get the 6 foot tall monster trophy, and your name goes on this year. And then the next year, whoever wins it, it goes to them.
That's cool.
And keep passing it back and forth.
Let's do it. We need to create something out there. Let's do it.
Yeah, because make it stupid cheap. Talk to the paint manufacturer and say, hey, for this event, I'm only going to sell it for $10 over wholesale.
Yeah.
Because it's college kids. And, let them just go at each other with rental guns only. No personal markers.
Nice.
And just go tater the crap out of each other trying to win, and whoever comes out bloodiest at the end wins. Because come on, it's the Civil War colleges, Oregon that always just it would be epic. And then maybe throw Washington in there to get beaten bad, because they're the Huskies.
Yeah, for the record,
I threw another jab out there again.
Hey, for the record, I've been to Portland during football season, and I can tell you, I've witnessed it myself, how crazy it gets out there. It's awesome.
Oh, I've got a Ducks shirt. Sorry, I'm a Ducks fan. Yeah, I got web feet. I don't have a flat tail. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with trying to get this going. I've got the experience in retail. I started my life at Safeway. I don't know if it's Dominic's or Vaughn's or whatever you've got over there.
Not Dominic's anymore. Who knows what it is now? It's
Albertsons.
Yeah.
So, I've always worked in some sort of service type business, and even now, being a electrician, I do service. So I've got to meet with the customer, find out why they're mad, what's broke, fix it, make them happy, make them smile, walk out the door getting paid. So it's something that I do. I'm good with people. I'm good at making things happen. I've seen enough in the paintball industry to shake my head a lot. And, why everybody says that they want to grow it, then why charge ridiculous amounts of money and push pro shops that are stocked with nothing but high-end guns, or and then why take and say, oh, because it's a dangerous power, it's a piece of crap. No, dude, if a kid likes the look of a dangerous power, and I'll attest that they are not crap, they have really come a long ways in their G5.
Hey, maybe for the record, where's Dangerous Power based out of?
California.
So maybe we need to get the rep on one of these breakout sessions to go through that G5.
Michael, I can't remember. I don't even want to butcher your last name, dude. I'm going to send you this link. I've actually got a very good working relationship with Dangerous Power. They were up here for the last Super Game. I got to meet their Master Tech, Dallas, and working with Team Small Crime, that is a local team here that is Dangerous Power sponsored. They're a good gun. I took one out of the box, handed it to a guy and say, here, go play at Super Game. We just put a battery in it. Made sure that it shot around 280, and he just played. Loved it. It never hiccuped once on him.
Nice.
And everybody was like, dude, what's that? In fact, this was the gun from Super Game. It's a really cool teal color.
I was going to say that teal looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm not into teal, but I've always been black and silver. I'm not a Raiders fan, but black and silver.
Yeah.
Or camo, thank you, Zodin. It's just, I've got a really good working relationship with Dangerous Power. They took a chance and said, all right, we'll give you an account, because there's places in the industry, die, $5,000 minimum order, $2,500 minimum orders. Planet Eclipse, hell, I can't even get them to return my email. You know, how is that helping the industry?
Right.
How is saying, oh, well, you have to buy $5,000 worth of our product, and it has to span between this, this, and this, and this. Well, I'm not going to be able to sell your $150 soft goods here in Oregon. Not when I can go over to Sergeant Slaughter's Surplus and get BDUs for $3. And every other kid in Oregon knows that too. No, I'm not going to buy your $150 pair of flashy pants. And no, I'm not going to sell like 5 M2s. That's not going to happen in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's where is the thinking? Not all of us are California or Illinois or Texas or wherever speedball is prevalent. You know, not everybody's going to buy that same type of gear. Be flexible.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of Tippmann get sold in Oregon.
Go
a
Tippmann.
lot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Where is it? Oh, I've got a TCR that I modified that looks pretty slick.
And for the record, I'll give props to Tippmann, because I feel like out of all the companies, I could be completely ignorant to this comment, but Tippmann has. I feel like Tippmann's built relationships with fields over the years, and it's never gone away. And
they
so,
really have.
Tippmann, my hat's off to you, because I feel like you're the only company that's really kept that. We're a paintball company. We make paintball guns that are affordable, reliable, and everybody can use. I mean, how many fields do you go to, and Tippmann's are the rental guns? I mean, Tippmann's got a handle on things when it comes to fields, in my opinion.
I just hope that that's the case going forward.
Yeah.
After all the purchases and the fish swallowing the fish.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But, you know, all right, redirect me.
Let's see. I think there was 2 things, but they might have slipped my mind. Well, one thing would be 2 things actually. PT paintball. I obviously know what paintball is. What's PT? What's that for?
That was that's props to my wife. That's the original name my wife came up with, was Painted Trees Splatter Dodge, PTSD.
Cool.
And I put that out there. I hung it out there. The people that know me and knew what I was doing all loved it.
Okay. The
people who like clickbait thought I was being an insensitive. I'm just gonna say it. I was being an insensitive asshole trying to profiteer off of somebody's hardship.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Read the description. And, you know, Viper actually contacted me about it. And we talked, and he read through it, and he said, I like what you're doing. The problem is the name. You know, you're going to have people on impulse jumping down your throat. And a couple other people started jumping down my throat about it. And I said to him, did you read the description? No. Read the description. It's like that guy you send an email to that you ask 3 questions and he only answers the first question.
Right, because he barely read the subject line. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the problem. And so we swapped to PT, Painted Trees. So Painted Trees paintball, physical test paintball, whatever you want. You know, I was looking for a name that, like, locally, there's a field, Action Acres. Mm-hmm. You going to AA this weekend? That's what everybody does. Hey, you going to Splat this weekend?
Yeah.
You going to Diamond this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to PPP this weekend?
Right. Yeah.
So,
it's got a ring to it, man. It's definitely got a ring to it.
And that was hours of going back and forth and between me and my wife trying to come up with ideas, because she wants to be more involved in it than she is, but we have 2 children. So
I know that feeling, man. I know that feeling.
Yeah. And in fact, I might just get a Riemann for not being inside. But oh well, I have an interview to do.
Yeah, you do.
So
we'll wrap it up though, just for the record.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so my wife she's going to be part of it. She's actually going to run the counter. She's going to run the books. She's going to make sure I'm not an idiot and spend more than I've got. I've got another person, which shout out to Caleb Coe. He's going to be my field manager / head referee.
Cool.
So he's a young guy. He's only been in paintball for a couple years, but he sees it. He sees the service side of it. Mm-hmm. He sees the need to be a service-oriented paintball field to really survive. I mean, since 2008, the Sports Institute, whatever, more numbers that none of us care about, said that there was like 5.5 million paintball players that played once a year.
Right.
I think that number was a little shy, but then since then to now, it's been on a decline. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, gasoline was $4 a freaking gallon, and I see all over like paintball talk about it all. How big is paintball on Facebook? I see guys, once a month they're talking about how far do you have to drive to go play paintball, and I see guys that say I drive 2 hours, 3 hours. Jesus, really?
Yep.
You have to drive 3 hours to go to a field? And they're like, well, yeah, there's one close by, but it sucks.
That's usually the case, right?
So they've got to drive hours to play a sport. How many other sports are there that people will drive hours to throw money at, never win any back, and continue doing it? Not too many.
That's probably the wisest thing I've heard anybody say about paintball. Right there. Like I can quote that.
Yeah. Nope. There's very few people, Oliver Lang. He's about the only dang person that comes to mind that's actually made money playing paintball. Or Mr. H, HK Army. You got to start a business, but the only player that's an actual just player. Everybody loses money. I mean, it's a throwaway sport.
Right.
We throw money at it. That's what we do. Right. It's kind of like go-kart racing. There is no money in it. It's just something to do. It's something to enjoy with family, something you take your kid and they show interest in it. They're good at it. They've got a talent for it. You find them a team, you go play. Yeah, right. It's going to cost you a buttload of money. But you know what? That's what we do for our kids.
Right. And look, you wouldn't trade it for the world, right? I mean, I've been playing paintball since 1998, and I can tell you I have seen more of the world, the country, made friends that I would have never have done without playing paintball. So,
yep. Well, that was me as a child. I grew up racing go-karts.
Nice.
And now the people that I used to race go-karts with are in NASCAR, Daytona Prototypes, and I can look at TV and say, hey, I raced with that dude. But, that's the same with paintball. Some guy says, dude, I used to be on a D3 team, and now this dude over here, he's now on a pro team.
I can say it, but you know what? That's just how the sport goes. I mean, and I think that's the fun of it. I mean, I haven't lost ties. Chad Boucher, you better be watching this. Chad and I used to play on a D3 team together. Now he plays on Houston Heat. Jason Stapula, D3 team together. Now he plays on TMG Outlaws. I could keep going. Danny Tiljack played on Dynasty. He doesn't play anymore, but he played on Dynasty. I used to play with him. It just happens. That's the name of the game. But amazing memories, right? I'll never give them back. Like they're just great memories with people. That's just part of the game.
Hey, I'm back.
All right.
I had a phone call and it decided to lock up my network because, like I said, I'm using my phone as a hotspot to have this conversation.
Oh, that's all right, man. Well,
look, now I'm probably going to go over my data like crazy. Oh, well.
That's all right. But you know, like I was saying, you know, you can share memories with people despite of how they move up. Like I said, I've played with several guys who are now pro, and you know what, we had those memories together years ago, and I'll always have those memories. I'm sure they'll have those memories despite them being on the pro teams now. That's the fun of the game. That's what brings. Like I've been saying with Breakout Paintball while I'm trying to get this thing off the ground, and it's more than just a game to us. It's a way of life, and I can't exaggerate that more. It's totally true. I mean, it's part of us.
One thing that I really want to do as well is I want to have in the middle of the parking area, I want to have a big fire ring. Yeah. And just throw pallets on it, throw wood on it at night. You know, hey, you don't feel like going home yet? All right, come up, bring up a chair.
Yeah.
You know, or everybody shows up early. All right, pull up a chair. Let's get a fire going. Damn, it's cold out here.
Yeah.
And just enjoy each other's company. And that's, I think a lot of it is I miss that from my racing days, because that's what it was. Is it was more about family, community, making new friends, hanging out, racing against each other, wrecking each other, you know, slapping each other around because we did it. And then at the end of the day, we all cracked a beer, or in my case, a soda, because I don't drink. And we're all buddies at the end of the day. And that's what it should be for paintball. It should be family. It should be, it's not well, oh, hell with it. It's extended family. We're all extended family.
It is.
You know, I'm trying to look for a better word, but there's no better word. It's all extended family.
No, and I think it's beyond that. I mean, you could meet anybody on the street and say, hey, do you like this band? Yeah, I do. Cool, you have something in common. But I feel like the second you meet somebody in paintball, it's more than that. Like,
that's my favorite posts on like how big is paintball. Paintballer spotted. You know, you see somebody with a sticker and you're like, what is that sticker? And then you look at it, you're like, oh, dude, that's an old school, you know, Planet Eclipse sticker, or it's an old school Smart Parts. Yeah, you know, but just stuff like that. Or even my neighbor, one day she walked over and she said, I've got this old paintball gun. I don't know if it's worth anything. It was a friggin' Sheridan KP2.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, can I have that? She's like, well, what's it worth? I said, can I have it? Number one, I've always wanted a KP2. Number two, yeah, in really good condition, they're hideously expensive. But hers, the bolt was stuck on it. It needed a lot of love.
Yeah.
But I would have been more than happy to break out the Brasso and a lot of love to shine that thing up.
Nice.
But it's more about, that's my niche, is fun. Enjoyment. You know, yeah. Oh, dude, you're into old cockers? Sweet. I fought for years trying to figure out how to tune a cocker. Can you tune a cocker? Sweet, you're my new best friend.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Hey, you like auto mags? Pimp. When you're out of paint, you just hit them with it. You know, and then it's still fine. Not like a new gun, we're going to fold in half.
Right. Right. Or like, I love those pictures you see online of like a Geo or something, and somebody dives and takes a core sample and the whole thing just bends. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you do that with an auto mag, you broke your shoulder because it stopped and it didn't break, and your shoulder did. So that's kind of, you know, like this weekend coming up, Shrek